Good morning. There's some little critter over there. I thought I heard coyotes first. That last one wasn't a coyote. Who knows? Maybe the coyotes are having breakfast. You know, those prophets in the Old Testament are such powerful critics of injustice and of infidelity. Really powerful, incredible rhetoric. But there are also those pages of amazing and tender beauty, of mercy and compassion and consolation. And that's what we have today from the prophet Micah. Oh, the Lord loves clemency. The Lord loves mercy. He does not persist in anger. Sometimes we do that, don't we? And we're made in the Lord's image and likeness. But in that aspect, maybe we still have a lot to learn, like the people did throughout the scriptures. Imagine Joseph's brothers when they were in shock that he was running Egypt. Imagine their faces, imagine them looking at each other if they were able to take their eyes off him. Imagine their heart pounding and being scared of what he might do. And then they hear with their own ears, they can't believe it. Well, the Lord meant this for good. When bad times are turned around by God's hand, by God's strategy, by God's heart. This is the heart of God, that the bad times actually serve for a greater revelation of love. The bad times meaning our bankruptcy, our impossibility, your children's impossibilities, your spouse's impossibilities. The bad times are for a greater revelation of love. Bring out more color in the love. Amazing. Amazing, but that's so difficult for us to learn. You know, 2,000 years of Old Testament, 2,000 years of New Testament, 4,000 years of learning. We still have such a hard time, especially even us devout ones that seem to be practicing, seem to be praying. It's it's amazing, really. Who does not persist in anger forever, but delights rather in clemency. Delights, that combination, you know, delights in clemency. He delights in mercy. And you know, if you want to get God even to delight more in mercy, it's that if we practice it, then he realizes that we truly are in his image and likeness. You know, like the way grandparents love to see the grandchild and the child looks like them. The genes have come through, and there's such a thrill, such a delight. And there's a generous heart in the grandparents to celebrate how the grandchild is like their spouse. And they're very happy that it's like them as well, of course, absolutely. My child is just like me. My son's just like me. That famous song, you know, it's a sad song because the dad didn't turn out that well. He didn't have time for his child, so his child didn't have time for him later. But now God is looking on this person, this human being, this tough person, this strong person, this strong-headed person, and it turns out that this strong-headed person is learning mercy. And the Lord delights in clemency. Maybe that's one of the reasons also why the Lord blesses parents with difficult children. So the parents can become more like His heart. Their hearts can become more like God's hearts in the practice of mercy with their children. And how siblings can help a sibling out of trouble. The Lord delights in mercy. Learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart. It's the only time Jesus asked for this. And mercy requires a lot of meekness and humility of heart. A lot of goodness. Mercy is kind of a bit incompatible with ego. With hurt egos need to have a lot of humility and meekness to be merciful. But then they're more like God, who delights in clemency. Wow, this chapter 7 of Micah is worth spending time with. It's kind of one of those pages you want to put into an art piece and hang on the wall, you know. There's a wonderful live stream follower who often sends pictures of the sunrise stroll and chat. The sun rising. It's great that the sun rises every day, but imagine the sun of mercy rising in our hearts every day. How that can change life, change families, change hearts, change responses. The Lord delights in mercy. And then there's kind of a limit in our heart, you know, we get tired. I would say, you know, I was merciful 70 times 6. But gosh, I have to be merciful 70 times 7, and I just don't have it in me. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And He'll again have compassion on us. You know, and gosh, the chosen people had their share of history. But He will again have mercy on us. Lord, show us your mercy and love. This beautiful Psalm 85. That's verse 8, another one, you know, to put up on the wall. Show us, O Lord, your kindness and grant us your salvation. How much salvation comes through kindness? How we need it. That famous song that said, Matt Maher, Lord, I need you. Lord, how I need you. I need your kindness, your salvation. And then we have a kind of a tough one in the Gospels. And I heard actually a very interesting commentary yesterday night from our Australian friend, with his Australian accent, the daily Gospel Exegesis, the logical Bible commentary. It's there on Spotify and probably on other platforms. I really recommend it to you. It's very interesting. And he goes through this subject a lot of Jesus' brothers, and your brothers and your mother are out there looking for you. And so obviously this is a bit of an issue. And I won't go into that because he does a great job with it, so you can go at it. But I would recommend, I would offer another little thought about it. And it is the following. You know, the scriptures also say that James, the brother of Jesus, James, was the bishop of Jerusalem. And I'm adding on now to the logical Bible commentary. So I presume that you can hear that if you want, because we've gone through these issues before as well about the meaning of siblings in the Semitic culture, and brothers, the usage of the word brothers. But it says also that, and two of the ones that are included in Jesus' brothers, it says specifically in the gospel, this is something your man points out last night, they're actually, it says in the gospel that they're the sons of another woman. So then they're not the sons of Mary, the mother of Jesus. But that's a whole other story. You can go into it there. But going back to the point I wanted to make is that James, the brother of Jesus, becomes Bishop of Jerusalem. That's the way it's said, right? And then it also, in Nazareth, there's record of, in the Church of St. Joseph there, of historical reference to some conflict there was with the Roman authorities. I'm not sure if it was a time of persecution, but there's a reference to the family of Jesus in Nazareth and their disciples. So if you do the math, then this reference of a family of Jesus who are upset about his behavior, these people are also eventually disciples, or a number of them, or many of them. I find that very interesting. Not every flower blossoms at the same moment. And grace has its time in each heart. And maybe there's some little child that's even an altar boy and very good and pious. And another child is really difficult and misbehaving and not responsive and really trouble. Like you have Saul becoming Paul, after all the trouble he caused. So the timing of grace and the opening of the heart to grace and the lack of understanding this family had at the early stages of Jesus' public ministry. But eventually grace triumphs. And that's an amazing thing. And there we have the triumph of mercy and the patience that's needed. And how many parents need a lot of patience with their kids. Maybe even the poor grandparents are now responsible for the kids because the parents are in deep trouble or mixed up issues in the parents' lives, or maybe they're in jail, or maybe there was all kinds of situations, right? And the grandparents are taking over the education and the formation and the upbringing of the children. And they might be having a hard time because of all the trouble that was in the home. When people come around, sometimes it takes a long time. It's an interesting thing that many of the strong new atheists intellectually in the last 30, 40 years have become believers in Christ, believers in God. So we shouldn't get overly impressed by opposition and persecution. How many martyrs, in their martyrdom, the moment of their martyrdom, of that witness they gave, was so fruitful that their persecutors changed and became believers. Let's leave it like this, people. Let's be easy on judgment on others, and let's try and get an increase in mercy. We'd need that. It would be very good for all of us. would be a tremendous blessing for everybody. A merciful heart is a huge relief for the person who's merciful, and the merciful heart is an incredible blessing to everybody all around. Hey, look at this goose loves tables. Unlike the goose at Christmas or Thanksgiving, or the turkey, probably wouldn't plan on being on the table. The one leg is lifted up. I don't know if that's a sign of injury or if that's just a pose. I'm not a specialist. Sorry, the camera wasn't on the critter right now. It's amazing color, isn't it? Yeah, we agree. We agree. Okay, guys, let you go. God bless you. See you later, alligators. Hope you had a great feast of Mary Magdalene yesterday. I can't see if the camera is seeing me right now, but we'll presume it is. The light is so intense. God bless you.